Hi, everybody. Welcome to Halftime Live on Brews Sports. We welcome you inside the Brews Sports studios on a Thursday edition of the program. First of all, I just want to take a quick minute here. I just want to apologize for the show yesterday. There was a lot going on yesterday. Tanner and I were both in moods. There's alcohol involved. We talked more about the Browns than we did about anything else, which is probably why we were so depressed. So I personally want to apologize. I don't know if you want to apologize or not, Tanner, but I'm going to at least apologize to the public for whatever display that was our show yesterday.
It was more New England Patriots and Cleveland Browns talk than I need to do in an entire week.
Just a week?
Just a week.
Oh.
I'm being generous here.
I know you are. You're a very generous guy.
I'm 30 seconds into the show, and I've already said the Patriots.
And you yell at me.
I do.
You're like, would you stop with the Patriots?
You brought it.
I'm not even a Patriots fan, and I still get accused for being a Patriots fan.
You threw a wild card at me and had a Patriots fan on our show yesterday. So
we talked about soccer, though, so I feel like it couldn't have been that bad. I just had to throw that little extra nugget in there, being like, oh, by the way, Tanner, she also is a Patriots fan.
You can't put me into a mood already, Baxter. It's 11:01.
I'm trying not to put you in a mood. Your beer's already warm, by the way.
Stop.
Just want to throw that out there.
I can't do this. I'm 5 seconds in.
5 seconds in, the Patriots, beer's warm. Anything else we need to get out of the way?
Jeff hasn't even gotten on yet, and you're like, oh, your beer's warm. Like, don't feed the beast. Don't feed the wolves, man.
It's more fun to do that, though. There, Jeff started watching, so hi, Jeff.
Hi, Jeff. Good morning.
We are excited, though, for the show today, of course. We've got a lot of great stuff to get to. We are going to be joined in our second segment by one of our baseball correspondents, Jessica Kleinschmidt, to talk about the breaking news about Jose Fernandez. We're also going to give us some tips about the fantasy baseball world. And, of course,
Tim Tebow.
My boy. Who else are we going to talk about?
Boy.
God forbid the other hundreds of players that take place in Major League Baseball on a daily basis.
Yes.
Nobody cares.
I care.
You don't care, except for Tim.
I care.
I think we need a Tebow jersey.
We need like
a wall plaque of Tim Tebow or something on the backdrop.
You know, I'm not even like a Tim Tebow fan. I just love the story.
Do you?
It's just so fun to talk
all about the story.
Like, who cares?
Why not?
Nobody cares, but we're talking about it.
Exactly. It's kind of like LeVar Ball.
This is the first time since Michael Jordan that people have actually cared about minor league baseball.
That's true. Hey, why not? Make baseball great again, I guess, right? Tim Tebow's the man to do that.
Russell Wilson got drafted by the Rangers, and we talked about it for like 5 minutes, and everyone was like, but like he's not going to stop playing football.
No, because he's like, you won a Super Bowl, so why would you go?
So,
easy does it, Russ. He's busy smelling his wife's back. So.
Everyone's like, but maybe he can do it.
I doubt it. I really doubt it.
He's the next A-Rod.
He plays outfield. A-Rod played third base and shortstop.
Tim Tebow can do whatever he wants, man.
I guess so. Tim Tebow does what Tim Tebow does, I guess. Either way, we've got some good stuff in store for you today. It is Thursday, which means it's our Thirsty Thursday segment to kick off the program. Tanner, what are you thirsty for today in the sports world?
Boy, am I thirsty. Boy, am I thirsty.
Oh?
NCAA, I'm thirsty for a bracket buster.
Thirsty for a bracket buster. Why do you want a bracket buster
because
this early?
I picked so many upsets that the only way my bracket can be successful is if I bust every single other bracket out there.
So you're going to try to be that guy.
No, I am that guy.
I know you are that guy.
I am that guy.
You're just going right after it, right after it.
I have to preface by saying the primary tournament that I play in every year is my father's. Mm-hmm. And he puts all these weird, crazy rules in there where if you pick an upset above a 10 seed, you get bonus points. So it encourages you to think outside the box. In turn, it also makes you bust your bracket quite quickly. So
it's a game, man. Don't listen to the man.
I'm going to try and pull up my bracket here. But
I thought we were talking about our brackets later on in the show.
Okay. All right.
Why are you jumping?
I have time to do that. Well, I have something else I'm thirsty for.
Okay.
Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor.
Are you thirsty for the $25 million each plus the pay-per-view negotiated deal?
I'm thirsty for all of the fans who are going to spend millions and millions of dollars to watch this fight and be just as, if not more, disappointed than the Mayweather Pacquiao.
I think McGregor's going to at least punch instead of just hug him all for the entire time.
It's a totally different game, man. You're walking into the ring with one of the best ever. And you're learning a different game. So
I think McGregor's going to come out swinging. I think he's going to come out swinging. He's obviously just going to get he's going to get dropped, I think.
I would love to see Conor McGregor just beat the crap out of Floyd Mayweather.
You would?
I think everybody
would. So you're Team McGregor then? You're not Team Floyd.
I think more people would be on McGregor's side. But it's not going to happen because he's got, 6 months to train for a boxing event?
Well, I mean, he's already in really good shape. I mean, UFC to an
Yeah.
extent, you still have to punch in UFC. It's not like he doesn't. I know you can throw your legs and
There's so many
headbutt
more- that's what
people
I'm
and
saying.
stab people and whatever else that you can do in the
The
UFC
technique
nowadays.
is totally different. The technique is totally different. So
You're right.
We'll see. That's something that we'll have to talk about as a.
I'm excited.
forward,
It hasn't
but-
officially been confirmed yet, but as you said, Dana White is pushing for it. So that ultimately is what we care about, is that the man himself
Yes.
behind the curtain is trying to. He's kind of almost like the Wizard of Oz. He's trying to pull out the strings and
Right.
be like, make me more money. Ha 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 ha.
Not that people care, but I have one more thing that I'm thirsty for.
I was going to say, this is the most thirsty you've ever been in show history.
Show history. I have one more thing.
Okay.
It makes me excited because it's the 10-year anniversary. This coming Winter Classic will be the 10-year anniversary of the first Winter Classic. Do you know where the first Winter Classic was played?
I have a good guess.
It was in Buffalo, New York.
Hey,
2008.
Shout out to the
Sabres
Bills.
versus the Pittsburgh Penguins, and it was the
Sabres
most attended
Well, of course.
game in NHL history at that time. I'm sure there were more
And how
now,
the Sabres do in that game?
but lost in a shootout.
Lost in a shootout.
That was the same. Okay. So we lost in a shootout that year. This is why I hate Sidney Crosby. He ruined our hopes and dreams at Ralph Wilson Stadium in Buffalo for the first outdoor game played in the NHL. And then 2 years later, my boy Ryan Miller is taking charge in the net.
What up, Big Ryan?
In between the pipes at the 2010 Winter Olympics in Vancouver. Guess who scored the game-winning goal on my boy,
For Team Canada.
Sidney Crosby?
Boom.
Can I tell you a quick story about that real quick?
Why not, since we're on this
I
topic?
might as well. So I was out here at Marquette. It was in February, and I was doing a pre-orientation thing.
Okay.
And it was the same. I told my dad I was flying home the day of the gold medal game.
Okay.
I said, record it. I'm not going to listen to
Yep. Well, nothing.
anything related. Said I will not allow anybody to ruin this game for me.
Makes sense.
The whole day.
Whole day.
I get all the way home.
All the way home.
I get off the plane, take my headphones off. I hadn't even gotten out of the jetway yet. Some guy goes, "Can you believe Sidney Crosby scored the game-winning goal in overtime?" And I was like, "You kidding me?" I was so pissed. But yeah, so I hate that's why I hate Sidney Crosby. But yeah, so
I think he's a great player. He's a Hall of Famer. Best to ever play the game. Watch out, Wayne Gretzky.
The Buffalo Sabres and the New York Rangers. This is I haven't been able to confirm it, but I saw a source of a news station in New York who said that they were close to finalizing a deal for a Rangers-Sabres Winter Classic in New York City at Citi Field.
I think they should just play it like Times Square. How come we don't see more things in Times Square? That would be epic.
They fit all those people in there for New Year's.
Right?
Why
You
not
could throw
put
a hockey
game
rink
in
out there somewhere. Just shut it all
That'd be
down.
so great.
You're welcome.
That would be so sweet.
Yeah, you're welcome
Changing the game.
You're welcome for that idea.
But yeah, so
everybody.
I'm thirsty and hungry for that deal to get finalized.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Well, you basically took all the time for Thirsty Thursdays, so I am.
Are you thirsty?
I am adequately hydrated today, actually.
Are you?
So I feel great with my life
Are you?
today.
You just
so.
didn't prepare.
No, I could have been thirsty about wanting, millions of dollars for Warren Buffett's bracket challenge, but that's not at all what I'm thirsty about
Sorry,
anymore.
I took all your time.
Completely fine. Corey on Facebook says, I love how Tanner talks about Baxter talking about the Patriots as he talks about the Patriots.
You know, Corey's one of my biggest fans.
Is he?
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
He's just, I just think he loves our show.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Pretty sure I get fan mail from him all the time.
I'm sure you do.
All the time. Email, snail mail,
Snapchats.
AIM, all the
MSN,
above.
Yahoo.
Yeah, all the above. One of my biggest fans, so I always have to give a shout out.
What up, C-Pipes?
Always have to give a shout out.
Love it. David also says, I feel like Tanner's beer should be recognized as an official co-host. Usually, it usually has more to say and is more diverse than what usually Tanner comes up with at times. So that makes
David is also on Team Tanner.
Everybody's on
He's
Team
on
Tanner.
Team Tanner,
Nobody
yes.
loves Team Baxter, unfortunately.
Real quick though.
Go ahead.
Corey inspired me to do this.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, keep your clothes on. What are you doing? I don't have time for this.
Should I do it slow?
I mean, do we need to go to like a Kurt? Oh, what is this?
Team Burke lifetime member.
Well, I'd hope so.
They don't just give these out.
They don't, do they?
They don't just give these out.
How do I get a Team Burke lifetime member shirt?
You gotta ask Turber.
Turber's got the man.
Team Burke, lifetime member. Corey, one of these is coming your way, man.
That's quite the thing there, that's for sure. Aaron says that Times Square isn't big enough.
Here's the deal.
You could figure it out. Put it up on like stilts and just
for the NHL.
Play 3-on-3.
They're not going to make their money off of people who are watching They're not going to make their money off of people at the game. Okay. So they don't care how many people are going to be able to go there. It's all about the historic value and the entertainment value. So if they were to actually build a rink in Times Square and just let whoever's there watch it, people around the world are going to be like, they're playing a hockey game in Times Square?
Like, shut it down.
Are you serious?
I think it's a great idea. Let's
awesome.
go find the dimensions. Let's go measure. Let's make it happen.
I'll call Gary Bettman.
You got a guy?
The commissioner.
Call up a guy there?
I'll let him know.
I love it. All right, let's get to our baseball correspondent, Jessica
Yes.
Kleinschmidt, so we can talk about the latest news here in the baseball world. Jessica, a very good morning to you. Apologies for Tanner in advance for whatever he may say. I just feel like I need to start all of our interviews like that, just so that way everything is covered now that I've covered Tanner. Jessica, how are we doing today? Welcome to halftime.
Thanks for having me. Actually, my family has to introduce me, just to warn you about her. She has a foul mouth and she's super inappropriate. So I get it.
Oh, wow. So you guys are already best friends then, basically.
So pretty much, we're BFFs. It's good.
Perfect.
Well, Jessica, some very interesting news breaking this morning about Jose Fernandez. As many folks know, there was a tragic incident that took place a couple months ago. But new information coming out now this morning. What exactly have we learned about what happened to Jose Fernandez that tragic morning?
Well, there was a lot of investigations that were going on in regards to the accident that did occur 6 months ago. And it was mainly about, was this Jose Fernandez's fault? And unfortunately, it turns out after 6 months of a lot of investigating, the reports that Jose's legal counsel said that Jose gave the wheel to his friend were actually, denied. And it did show that there were traces of Jose Fernandez's DNA all over the steering wheel and the throttle and everything like that. So unfortunately, he was at fault for the incident. We already knew there was cocaine and alcohol in his system. He was actually over the legal drinking limit as far as, driving anything, let alone a boat. But so unfortunately, everything was considered his fault. If he were to live, Lord knows what kind of types of trouble he could be in. But I really wanted to make sure that people don't paint Jose Fernandez in a negative light. He was a wonderful human being. And I've been covering the story since it came out. And it really affected me personally. I've been covering the kid since he was younger. So it was some unfortunate incidents, but I don't want that to take away from his beautiful legacy.
No, it's tough because when you have millions of dollars at your disposal, it's easy for some of these players or celebrities even to get a hold of certain substances and often abuse it. So I think there is a line where the general public just doesn't care if they are doing drugs or if they are going out and getting crazy. Right. But how do you? Obviously, we don't want to, like you said, put Fernandez in a bad light, but where do you draw the line? Some players are going to do drugs. Some players are going to drink. In a situation like this where there is a number of deaths involved, it's tough to swallow.
Right, and he's unfortunately not around to defend himself, right? So unfortunately, all we remember is what he, the person that he was. And I'm not the type of person to be like, what, you're a bad person. I've never, personally met him, but I do know a lot of his teammates, and they've never said one negative thing about him, even before his accident. So we do paint these athletes in a certain light. And, I'm obviously also a fantasy baseball analyst. So I sometimes look at these guys as numbers, which I ultimately personally hate as my job. Sometimes I go home and think, wow, I looked at him as a number as opposed to the fact that this person's going home to a wife and kids, to his own family, what have you. So that's the thing that I try to balance that out as much as possible. But, we all have our demons. He definitely did. And he was upset that night. And there was, I've heard multiple reports why he was upset, whether it was a pitching scenario, he was upset with his girlfriend, a lot of different types of scenarios, if you will. And, I'm not going to put him in any sort of darker situation. I still have sympathy for him, especially his family. I also covered Yordano Ventura when he passed away in his accident. And the thing that I worry about is the son. Is his girlfriend just gave birth to a son not too long ago. And I remember when Yordano Ventura passed away, they were looking at his toxicology reports. And if there was any sort of substance in his system, that would be ultimately, do the Royals pay any sort of money towards his family? And that's what I'm worried about. I want to make sure that his son is taken care of. You're used to having all this money, then all of a sudden that's taken care of or taken away from you. So that's where my mentality goes. Athletes definitely are a different type of individual, if you will. Like, I couldn't be a professional athlete, not just because I lack the talent, but that's probably because I lack the talent. It's 5-0. What am I going to do? So it's kind of like that. But I definitely feel for the guy. We put these guys on pedestals. So sometimes I wish we could step back and remember these people are humans, if you will. But at the end of the day, it is just a really awful series of unfortunate events.
I don't think it's a secret that it is a freak accident, but do you look at the people around these players and these celebrities and say, hey, they need to take a little bit more responsibility for their colleagues and teammates, take a little bit more of that responsibility on themselves? But there are people like Will Bernal. He told Rivero that it was a horrible idea to let Fernandez go out on the water. But ultimately, yes, you can't stop Fernandez from doing what he wants to do. Mm-hmm. So do you raise awareness? Do you try and get people to step up?
Well, you can only micromanage people so much, though. I mean, I can tell you, Tanner, please don't go drink 10 beers tonight and take your shirt off and streak through the downtown Milwaukee, but you still might do it. Like, I can voice my opinion to you.
You would do it with a sip of beer. You would do it with a sip of beer. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. Exactly. But
this dad bod don't lie.
But I mean, you do raise a good question, though, and Jessica, I want to get your opinion about that. Is there a way to combat this at all? That aside from basically, not tying them up, being like, well, okay, like you can't leave, like stay here, kind of a thing. Don't go be an idiot.
Right.
It's actually a wonderful question. I was on the conference call with Dayton Moore after Yordano Ventura passed away, and Moore himself said that before anything happens, he stresses safety, whether it's drinking and driving or anything like that. And that's not just athletes, that's anyone. And he said himself, I'm talking to these kids from the lower levels all the way up. And sometimes when you're lecturing them, it goes in one ear and out the other. And that doesn't I'm not going to stop at athletes. I defend these guys, left and right. Some of them are my dear friends. Their wives and girlfriends are good friends of mine. And they do have lives themselves. But I get that they have a different type of job. But every move that they make is in the public eye. If I were to do something behind my closed doors, would anybody hear about it? Probably not. But a lot of people, they're all constant underneath the spotlight. We can tell somebody they're blue in the face. How many times do you have a girlfriend who's in a really crappy relationship, but she stays with him anyway? Mm-hmm. She's not going to listen to us. And it's vice versa, right? Whether it's domestic violence, anything like that. People don't understand that, and a lot of times they have to learn those lessons the hard way. This is a really crappy way to learn it, but they're not going to really listen to you. So Dayton Moore Royals talks to all these kids, and Yordano Ventura still ended up dead. So these things do happen, unfortunately.
And I mean, it's one of those situations that we hope will not happen very frequently, I guess, going forward in any realm, I guess, whether it be sports or just in general. I mean, anytime something like this happens, you have to feel for the families that are certainly affected because of that. So, kind of moving away from that, Jessica, as you mentioned, you are a fantasy baseball guru, a lover of things, of numbers. I'm looking at ESPN's top 100 fantasy baseball players right now, and of course, lo and behold, who's number one but Mike Trout? Do you agree with Mr. Trout being ranked number one, and who are some of the people you are exceptionally excited for this season for fantasy baseball in that regards?
Of course, I agree that Mike Trout, his ADP is always going to be 1 or 2. It's going to be between him and Bryce Harper, right? But there's a couple of ringers out there. Manny Machado is always like a top 5 for me as well. And it's kind of fun because beyond the number 1, the number 2 ADP, who else do you care about? And that's, to me, is the more important thing. Who's going to get the first overall pick? It's always going to be Mike Trout. And it obviously depends on what kind of draft you're in. I'm more of a daily fantasy sports girl, and that's more fun because you have to think about the ownership. Mike Trout's always going to be the number 1 target depending on his matchup. But the guys that I'm kind of excited about are not necessarily the first or second rounders, but more towards the 3rd, 4th, 5th rounders, depending on, you take the pitching out of it. The pitchers for me are kind of like, well, you obviously know who the top pitchers are, but you can kind of get into depth that guys like rookies that are really going to stand out this year that I love paying attention to because I know you guys were talking about going into the thing. Nobody cared about minor league baseball until Tim Tebow played. That's BS. I love Mr.
We knew we were going to find somebody that backlashed us a little bit. That's
Yeah,
completely
you have to
fine.
think about it. Gary Sanchez was once a minor league baseball player. Aaron
Who?
Judge was once a minor league baseball player. All these guys were. And who do they come whose door do they come knocking on when they get bumped up because they want to know about him? Jessica Kleinschmidt. That's who. Because they don't really pay attention.
Oh, all right.
They don't pay attention to these guys when they're playing in the PCL or in the different across the country, you know. And so when they get bumped up, they're like, "Well, I haven't been paying attention." I was like, "Oh yeah, now you want to send me cookies and flowers?" Okay, so those are my favorite guys to watch. You know, Mitch Haniger is gonna go into his first, hopefully, full rookie season. He was just traded from the Arizona Diamondbacks to the Seattle Mariners. And that was just, the Mariners got 13 offseason trades, a lot of weird trades kind of deal. It was very Billy Beanish where you're like, I don't know what he's doing, but hopefully it works out for him.
Good luck. That's all we can say, really.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to pray for you kind of deal. So Mitch Haniger was interesting because he actually played for the Reno Aces and here in Reno, so I got to watch him a lot. And in the Pacific Coast League, like us three, 220 batting average. It's a hitter's heaven. They hit the crap out of the ball. So when those guys get bumped up, I don't get too crazy over them because most of the time they're not going to be so great. You watched Peter O'Brien last year, it was the same scenario. So it's definitely something that I pay attention to. So the Mitch Hanigers of the world are the guys that I like to watch. The Brent Honeywells, he of course will probably start in AA and maybe get promoted to AAA, or he'll start in AAA and go up from there. Those are the guys you really need to pay attention to. And if you look at the New York Yankees, they're all babies, right? You know, minus Chris Carter, who really, you know, made that median age really more even when he got signed. The Greg Birds of the world, Clint Frazier, they're all younger. And a lot of times people weren't paying attention to them. So when they get bumped up, it's kind of like, oh, crap, what do I do with it? So if you pay attention to a lot of the rookies, you stash them in some of your leagues, you could really be successful, especially if they go off. So those are the types of guys that I pay attention to. You can have your Mike Trouts, you can have your Manny Machados, you can have your Mike, you know, the Trumbos, if you will. But you have to really pay attention to the guys that aren't getting a lot of attention because if you're in a DFS league, they're lowly owned and they can go off. And then you didn't spend a lot of money and you get to brush your shoulder off and be the pimp of the day. So it's kind of cool in that aspect. So those are kind of the guys that I like to pay attention to.
Tanner very much is about being the pimp of the day, I feel like.
The pimp of the day.
I've never heard that expression before, but that is, you've heard it here first on Halftime that you want to be the pimp of the day. Jessica, we actually have a question for you on Facebook from one of our viewers. David wants to know your thoughts on outfielder depth, especially in a 5 outfielder league. It said it gets pretty ugly when you're trying to fill that 5th spot. Your thoughts about David and his outfielder question?
It really depends on which part of the outfield you're looking for. And, you know, for me, a lot of my leagues, I actually go power heavy and then figuring out where you can actually put them. But then towards the middle of the league, you're going to want some speed. So if you actually go power heavy, don't feel too bad. But you have to think about what do you want. So there's a situation where Josh Reddick is constantly being brought up in a 5 outfielder type of league. And he's somebody that I really have to think about, especially in the team that he's playing with now. Played a lot in the AL West, so he's familiar with it. The new ballpark Minute Maid's really difficult to hit at, so that's always something to think about. You really have to, you're not going to want a really extremely power-heavy hitting 5th outfielder, right? But you also want to make sure, can I get something for him? You're always going to think about, okay, can I trade for some speed? Can I trade for like a lefty bat, what have you? So definitely keep that in mind. It really depends on what you're looking for. And, you know, try to get more towards the speed with the center fielder, right and left field. Left field, too, I'm more of a power girl. But right field, you can kind of have fun with it. They're not always going to be the most power-hitting guys, you know, like I mentioned, Josh Reddick or anything like that. You could have like a George Springer type of scenario where he is kind of known for his power, but he's also going to swipe some bags for you as well. So it really depends on what mentality you're thinking of in that aspect.
Now, I have a question real quick before we let you go. The world needs to know. The world needs to know. There is a player in the minors right now who is red hot. And he's coming off of his first 2-hit day, raising his average to a whopping 214.
Sure.
Yes. Tell me about Tim Tebow. The world needs to know.
Okay, so I love Tebow to Reese's Pieces, but I think the media hype's kind of exaggerated. I actually am really good friends with one of his teammates. He's from this area. He's playing with the Mets organization right now, Mickey Janis. And he's just saying, like, all they're really doing is practicing, and it's kind of like whatever. Tim Tebow's kind of keeping to himself, but he is aware of all the hype that's around him, so he's going along with it. He did have his first 2-hit game, and he made a diving catch, so he's actually, looking like a baseball player. But my huge concern is he's trying too hard, and not to show off, but a lot of these guys, in spring training aren't going to be trying really hard. They don't want to get hurt, right? They don't want to do anything too crazy where they're going to end up gassing out by the time April 1st runs around. So I think that's why he was hitting all those bombs in batting practice. He's putting all of his effort into it, but you can't really do that at spring training. That's why you're not seeing a bunch of guys that are going 4 for 4 or hitting for the cycle, if you will, because they don't want to get hurt. So I'm worried that he's trying too hard. He is just a natural athlete, so I don't think he knows how to hold back, but it's also his first spring training, right? So it was his first AFL, so he doesn't really know what to expect. I think if he does come back, which he might, he's a little bit of an older prospect. We'll see what happens. But he is looking like a baseball player. He's giving into the media. He's giving us what we want. And that's kind of all that we're really asking for him. But I think it is being exaggerated. I do see him getting promoted. I don't think it will be to, be the determinant of being like a AAA championship kind of deal. But I do see him selling some tickets. And the Mets are aware. I wish people would back off and say, oh, my gosh, it's so stupid. It's just a publicity stunt. Well, yeah, we're trying to bring more fans into baseball because it is kind of a dying sport. So I wish people would calm with that. Anything that would really help. But he's out there. He's playing well. So I wish people would kind of back off of him. He's a great guy and he's doing what he needs to do. So it just kind of is what it is.
Exactly. Well, go ahead.
I have one more question in regards to having such a polarizing figure come in after failing in another professional sport. You said you're close with some of the people in the locker room. How could it? What would it be like as a player to have some guy basically come in and say, "Yeah, I'm just going to try this sport now"?
That's a great question. It was a roller coaster. From the very beginning, a friend of mine who was in the Cubs organization got cut. And he called me really upset and just alone because he got cut. 2 weeks later, Tim Tebow is all of a sudden playing on the team. And he calls me again and he's just livid. And it started out really rough, right? It was like, okay, well, this is crappy. That's not fair to me. I didn't get the chance. But all of a sudden, Tim Tebow makes a call to his agent and he has a chance to play in Arizona Fall League. So that's step one. Step two, Tim Tebow goes out there and he gives in the media, gives us what we want. That's step two. Then it kind of was like, okay, well, he's a great guy. He's putting himself out there. And the athletes that I have talked to are kind of calming down now. They're like, okay, well, he's nice. He asked for a chance and he got it, and it is what it is. And even I talked to Tyler Hansbrough recently. He is a former college basketball player, and he even said, you know what, good for him. Why not, right? And especially at his age, where he's kind of doing the opposite. At that age, there's the WBC. They're trying to come back. Ryan Dempster was pitching for Canada, for crying out loud. Like, these guys are trying to make a comeback, play the sport that they love, what have you. You know what I'm saying? So he's definitely. There's a lot of torn type of mentality, but from the last couple of weeks, it's actually been a lot of positive stuff around him because he is such a great guy. He's not showboating too much. He's just a really good athlete, and he's kind of just showing that. So it's definitely been a roller coaster of emotions from the players.
All right, Jessica, well, we appreciate you taking the time to join us on the program today. Where can people find your writing and find you on social media as well to stay up to date with all the great baseball stuff that you churn out for us?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at KleinschmidtJD. Baseball's right around the corner. I'm getting ready to start with Fangraphs, FanRag, MLB, MSN Sports, Yardbarker, Sports, not everything you can imagine. I'm pretty much there. I also have my Facebook page, Jessica Kleinschmidt, on there. You can just search me there. And that's where you can find all of my fun baseball stuff.
Fantastic, Jessica.
Wonderful.
Thanks so much for your insight. We'll talk to you soon, all right? All right, there goes Jessica Kleinschmidt here on Halftime. We got to get into some breaking news here really fast.
Yes, we do.
According to Chris Morris, the one that provided it to us here on Facebook,
sir.
But he says CBS Sports website crashes an hour before games tip off today. Brackets cannot be filled out in time. Games tip website comes back on minutes later. Hacking anyone? Question mark.
Now, as we talked about, I think it was yesterday or the day before, $10.4 billion, over $10.4 billion is being bet on this tournament.
Yes.
Most of that being illegally, but people use these platforms to get their brackets done. To have something like that go down an hour before, that's going to screw with a lot of people all around the country, or all across the country. It did come back on minutes later. However, I mean,
I mean, what
Is
do you
this
say
a
to
problem
that? Yeah.
for procrastinators, though? I mean, I am that guy, though.
That's why you were late today, because you were like, sorry, I was filling out my bracket.
I did. I mean, so a couple of my friends, I'm in a bracket on CBS Sports. I'm on a couple of them, but one of them happens to be on CBS Sports, and I filled it out right before I came to the studio today.
Mm-hmm.
So thankfully, I didn't wait on that one
Dodge that
longer than I
bullet,
already
Bert.
did. But yeah, so that's going to tick off a lot of people.
Yes, I certainly think it will. We'll have to keep an eye on that as it develops. While we're on the topic of the NCAA tournament, I do want to reference a couple other comments here that we got as well, too. Jeff says, so if Tebow does well, he's trying too hard. If he does poorly, he's a bust. It is kind of a weird situation that you have to be in if you are Tim Tebow. You're never going to make everybody happy, and I think that's just, welcome to real life, basically, where you can never make everybody happy, sometimes even yourself. As long as he's happy and he's enjoying what he's doing, I think that really is the big key in a lot of this.
We just want Tim Tebow to be happy.
That's all that matters.
That's all that
I
matters.
just care about you, Tim. I'll hug you if you want to hug.
Tim's one of my biggest fans.
He is. So is Corey. So is Aaron. So is Jeff.
And
Everybody
Brew.
loves Tanner. Nobody loves Baxter. It's all good. Yeah. Aaron says to some Tebow can't lose, to others he can't win. Hashtag love hate. Basically, sort of a relationship going on. Adam also was commenting, saying that he got drunk with 10 beers last night and streaked through downtown Milwaukee apparently as well.
I was with him. I was with him.
And I cared about you guys, and I was very sad about that. Tom says Tanner is in my pool. Good luck. LOL. Ooh.
He is
Shade.
watching. He's always
Tom
watching.
is always watching.
Yeah, my dad
Lesson number 1 of hosting halftime.
My
Tom
dad
is always
gave up
watching.
commenting and posting on Facebook for
How's
Lent.
that going for him?
He gave that up for Lent. And then once, of course, like we started our shows right when Lent started.
Right.
So
Ash Wednesday,
he
we kicked it off.
changed his Lenten promise to
How do you
allow
feel about
Brew-
it that
to
your
allow
father
Brew
broke
Sports.
his vow to the Lord Almighty just to keep an eye up on you?
I think it's not the worst thing in the world.
That's between you and the big
it is a
man. I'm
good
not
thing,
gonna
yes.
get in between
Yes,
you and that
that's
one.
right,
Honestly,
that's
but
right.
I wish you well. That's all I say. I wish you well. So
What else is going on?
Well, talk to me about your bracket here, I guess, because we've got the NCAA tournament rolling along.
Well,
unfortunately, everything is closed now for the Brew Sports
Yes,
Bracket Challenge.
this
We
is
wish
true.
all of you the very best. First prize, $100. Second place is these sweet, freaking awesome, bomb-ass Brew Sports T-shirts that are form-fitting, sleek, and cozy all at the same time.
Don't forget Team Burke. It's in there. All right.
We're not giving away a Team Burke shirt.
No.
Are you making? Do you want to?
Contact
I don't know.
my
I
agent.
guess how do you want to do this? Do you want to just talk about the opening round, or to give our predictions fast? Do you want to just say your final four? Like, what's the best way to go about doing this?
Let's just talk about who's playing today. We'll just go over that real quick, and then
Okay.
we can go into who.
Who is playing today? I don't even know.
I'm just gonna pull.
A lot of people are playing today. That's not like I'm not
So
saying
the
that I
games-
don't know. I'm just saying that there's so much that I forget.
There's only one game in play right now, and that is Notre Dame, number 5 Notre Dame versus Princeton, and they are up by 1 point, 15-14, with 11:38 in the first. So we're in it. At least that's a close game to start off.
It
start off the
started.
tournament. UNC Wilmington, Virginia. Winthrop Butler at 12:30. South Dakota State taking on number 1 Gonzaga at 1 o'clock. Bucknell, West Virginia, 1:45. East Tennessee State, Florida. Middle Tennessee, Minnesota. Vanderbilt, Northwestern, 3:30. Xavier versus Maryland. Mount St. Mary's versus Villanova. VCU St. Mary's. Vermont, Purdue at 6:30. Florida Gulf Coast versus Florida State. I want to talk about that in 1 second. But Virginia Tech, Wisconsin, North Dakota, Arizona, Nevada, and Iowa State. Okay, Florida Gulf Coast and Florida State.
Sure, Dunk City, baby.
I talked about this with one of my friends last night.
Okay,
The selection committee says it's a coincidence.
that 2 Florida teams are playing each other.
In Orlando.
I mean, FGCU's from Fort Myers, FSU's
That's
from
like
Tallahassee.
wearing a red shirt and telling me it's blue.
That's not at all the same.
Come on, man.
They're
If
playing.
you're, I understand why
The
they
Final
do this.
Four is in Arizona's
I get
backyard.
it. I know. I understand why they do this. I understand why they do these things.
It's regional. That's all
it's
it is,
ratings.
regional.
It's ratings.
Well, also
Are you
ratings.
kidding me?
It's regional.
I don't know. I'm just saying if,
I mean, I
if you're
don't- I don't-
going to
I don't
set things up
understand.
to get ratings
Sure.
and get viewership, at least be honest with me. At least be honest with me.
I'm honest with you.
Jeez.
I'm being
You think
honest
you
with you
are.
right now. It's Orlando. It's not a home game for
get
either
it.
of these teams.
I know. I understand that. You of all people would know because you're
From Florida.
You're a Florida guy. So
I don't know much, but what I do know.
But what
where
I do
things
know,
are in Florida.
yes. Well, I understand why they do it, and that's why some teams do get in and some teams don't make it.
Sure.
Just much like for the NCAA football playoffs, I understand why they choose certain teams.
Sure.
They have the resume, but that's also why lesser known teams will never make it into the college football playoffs.
They don't care. They want the money.
Here's another one: Kentucky versus Northern Kentucky.
What about it? What of it? Come off it, man.
Where's the game being played? Done here. I guess we're done
What's
here.
The game? Where's the game being played?
Unbelievable.
Is it being played in Kentucky?
Indianapolis.
Okay, then you're fine.
Whatever.
You're just mad because of the seeding. Is really what you're mad at. Is what you're telling me.
I'm not.
So you're
I
saying
think Marquette should be a higher seed, but it benefits me in my tournament.
You're saying
so I'm not worried
two
about
teams
it.
from the same state shouldn't be allowed to play each other in the first.
It'd be like
round?
Michigan playing Michigan State in the first round. That's not okay.
Well, you can't put teams from the same conference in though like
here's
that.
The thing.
You can't do
okay.
that.
This is why I have a problem with it. So
okay.
Kentucky playing Northern Kentucky. One's a 2 seed, one's a 15 seed.
Sure.
They wanted Florida Gulf Coast to play Florida or
FSU.
FSU. So does that affect the seedings of these teams so that these two teams can play each other for ratings?
Does it?
Because that may affect other teams in that region. So I'm just saying it's ridiculous to me. It's almost as ridiculous as a play-in 11 game. Stupid.
Yeah, I don't understand the whole play-in 11 game. I thought the 16 seeds always had to play in, and then I saw that there's a play-in 11 game.
Well, it's not fair.
And maybe this is just my ignorance about college basketball, but I was like, what the hell is this? Like, why do we care that there's two 11 seeds? Like, it should be the 16 seeds because you're the last ones to make it in.
How is it, like, how are you being rewarded as an 11 seed?
You're not.
By having to play another game.
It doesn't make any sense.
Only one though. Like it's not all 11 seeds. You know what I mean? So
obviously,
I don't get that. That's another problem. But the tournament itself is.
I agree. We asked you guys yesterday for your Final Four predictions. Just your general bracket knowledge as you've got it. So make sure you comment below. Make sure you share the
comment,
episode
share,
as well.
And be a part of our discussion.
Tell me
why I'm wrong.
We love you all. James says Grayson Allen versus Lonzo Ball championship, the most hated game ever. I would agree with that.
We're gonna get into that later. Trust me.
Corey wants to know how Wisconsin got an 8 seed. He thinks it's BS. Well, yeah, that's the debate that's been raging for a long time because they had a better regular season record than Minnesota, but Minnesota was the better this and then they were that, and the committee just hates Wisconsin. That's all.
Tell me about your bracket.
My bracket? What do you want to know about my bracket?
Okay, I'll tell you about my bracket.
I've got a lot of things about bracket.
I'll tell you about my bracket.
Don't ask me a question then deviate from me. No, you asked me a question. I will answer. I just said I wanted more clarification.
Well, tell me about it. What's going on? Who do you got? Who's your winner? What?
You need to be more specific. Don't tell me.
Who's your winner
of the whole tournament? Of the whole dang thing.
The world needs to know.
Okay, it's Michigan.
Oh, my God, what is wrong with you?
Michigan, UNC is my right side of my Final Four. Virginia, Gonzaga is my left side. Michigan beats Zaga 64-60.
Oh, you don't have Michigan playing Michigan State in the Elite Eight?
I'm not that kind of a tool.
Unbelievable.
Michigan State's going to beat Kansas.
In Michigan?
Michigan State and Kansas are going to play in the next round. Kansas is going to curb stomp Michigan State.
Whatever. I have a different bracket than you. I have UNC beating Arizona. It's too hard to repeat. We talked about this. I have Villanova in my Final Four along with UNC, Arizona, and Louisville, but it's too hard to repeat.
Oh, really? You got the Cardinals going that far,
I think they're the team to beat. Don't get me wrong.
That, Nova or
Villanova?
Villanova?
But I don't think they're going to do it. And it's been too long since UNC's won a tournament. What has it been, like 3 years?
It's been far too long. You must be good again.
Let me tell you why my bracket is going to either make or break my March Madness season.
Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So upsets are great. Everybody loves upsets. I think this is the year. I didn't choose it just because I'm not that stupid, but I think this is the year a 16 seed
really
beats a 1 seed.
Who though?
Gonzaga.
What?
Yes.
Come
San
on
Diego
now.
State coming off a hot win. They're a scrappy team, and Gonzaga is
huge.
And
will literally murder them.
They're the biggest team. Gonzaga's the best team, the biggest team, but they're going to lose to a 16 seed this year.
No, they're not.
It might happen. You heard it here first.
It won't happen. And when
no one else is talking about it, so you better root for it to happen because then we can replay it and say, "Hey, Tanner said it's going to happen." But he didn't have the set to commit to it in his bracket and choose them to win.
So why are you going to be this guy? I might as well go out and say that I think that every lower seeded team is going to win their first round game.
It's not going to happen.
I might as well go out and say that now, even though I didn't choose that.
A couple other upsets. I think Xavier is going to beat Maryland, but I think it's going to be a good game. I think KSU is going to beat Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have another one. Obviously, I had to choose Marquette.
Marquette is my upset throughout the whole
Marquette.
tournament. I've got Marquette going to the
See, that's barely an
Elite Eight.
upset. That's barely an upset.
How is that barely an upset? If Marquette beats South Carolina, Duke, SMU, and then ultimately loses to Virginia.
Here's the deal. Marquette can play
I
with
don't see how
anybody.
that's an upset. I feel like that's a big deal.
Marquette can play with anybody. They are the best.
No, they can.
They are the best three-point shooting team in the country.
Yeah, when it works.
That's what I'm saying. So here's how it works. And this
How
is
does
why
it work?
it makes or
they
breaks.
make every basket? That's yes.
This
Of course,
is-
that's how it works.
A team like this can either go far or get eliminated by any team. So they play down to teams because
it's like saying the team that scores the most points will win the game. We know that.
can't do this.
I'm just saying.
And I know it's because I'm a homer, but this is the team I've watched the most this year. So
Good for you.
Marquette
Yeah, great team. Great
knocked
guys.
off the number one team in the country. I know how they did that.
How they do that.
They started playing defense. Villanova started missing shots, and Marquette started making threes. So when they make their three-pointers, best three-point shooting team in the country, they can beat anybody. When they miss their three-pointers, when you have a cold day, they can lose to literally anybody. And that's the problem of three-point shooting being your bread and butter. You can't sustain. So Marquette's either going to come into this tournament hot or they're gonna disappoint. So
Simon thinks you're crazy about Gonzaga losing. Same with David as well, too.
everybody's going to think I'm crazy.
Corey says, are you just biased, Tanner, because of your dad's bracket rules?
Yes.
And then Adam says the roof is the ceiling or whatever.
Let me put it in perspective. So the first round of my dad's tournament,
How does this
each
work?
win is worth 50 points. The
Okay.
second round, each win is worth 100 points,
Sure.
and so on and so forth. But if you pick an upset from a 10 seed or higher to win, you get 200 bonus points.
That's how the ESPN bracket works. If you get 10 points.
You get 200 bonus points for every win that they get moving forward. So in my tournament, I have Marquette winning all the way. Going all the way. No, I don't. I have UNC.
Don't lie to me.
In any of my brackets, I have UNC and Arizona winning. I don't have anybody else.
Why are you going with Arizona? What's so special about Arizona? Because the fact that they play the Final Four
Jeez.
in their backyard.
I don't think that has that much to play.
I'm surprised I'm not
I
being
really don't.
crucified for my Michigan pick.
I mean,
And Virginia. No one's talking about Virginia. The Cavaliers, they're great. They mean well.
yes.
They're doing what they can. Going to surprise some people. They
Sure.
would have to beat Villanova, and they'd have to beat Marquette. That's a big test. Then they would have to lose to Gonzaga to make my tournament perfect. I don't really have a ton of upsets. Let's be honest about this. If I'm looking across my bid here, the teams that are supposed to win will win for the most part. I'm looking at Marquette is really my only outlandish. I've got East Tennessee beating Florida. Aside from that, everybody else is pretty much where they need to be. Rhode Island's going to beat Creighton, and then Oregon's going to curb stomp Rhode Island, and then
My
Michigan.
dad's not going to like that.
He'll be fine with it. I'm not in his bracket. I'm not Burke enough to be
He's-
invited to the Burke family
He's
Robinson
a Creighton
there.
fan. I
I know
honestly
he
don't
is.
think
He's
Creighton's
an
that good,
alum,
but,
isn't he?
I have Creighton going to the Sweet 16, but
Good for you.
in the real world, I think they're going to lose to Oregon,
Yeah, I would agree with
and
you.
then Oregon's going to lose to Louisville.
Also sounds right.
So, but I gotta be a homer. I gotta root for the Blue Jays.
Woo! Go Homers.
Anyways, okay.
What else?
So
Are we done with basketball? Virginia, UNC, Wilmington.
I gotta
just
watch
tipped
this
off.
Notre Dame game. I really need to pay attention to that.
on
and they're winning.
CBS.
Okay, they're up by 4 right now.
There you go.
7:26.
UNC, Wilmington, and Virginia are tied 2 apiece. That game is
Oh,
on
in the
True
first
TV.
50 seconds
It's a nail biter.
to turn it on.
What?
True TV.
Let's get out of this basketball world. Let's go to football for a little
Okay.
bit because
What
we
do you
like
wanna talk
football.
about in
Latavius Murray signing with the Minnesota Vikings.
Okay.
Basically putting all rumors to bed that Adrian Peterson is making a comeback. Like so many folks were guaranteeing he's just holding
yes.
out. He's holding out. He could, I guess, sure, maybe. But why do you need 4 running backs on your team if you're the Minnesota Vikings? You don't. So what good does
Have
it
you
have?
ever heard of the rare 4 running back set?
On one of my Madden teams before, yes.
Yes. Okay.
But no, it's
It's
not
like a
going to
cheat
happen. So
code.
Adrian Peterson, I've heard he might go to Oakland, which doesn't really make sense because
He's not going to Seattle now.
He's not. Well, he could still if they're going the running back by committee.
Yes.
But Jamal Charles also had a visit there yesterday as well.
And Rex Burkhead to New England.
Oh, that's right.
Is that true?
I think so.
I think he's in New England.
I think that's correct. Yes.
So they've already filled in their basically meaningless running back position. That's the thing with the Patriots, though. They always put somebody in that position who is not too flashy, nothing really exciting, never in the top 10. You know?
Who's this?
The Patriots. I mean,
For rushing,
it happened
you're
with
saying?
it happened with Deion Lewis.
Even when Corey Dillon was on that team, a legend of the Patriots, Corey Dillon back in the day, I don't remember him ever being a high-profile top 5 running back in the league.
Right.
James wants AP to go to the Packers.
What am I
Adam
doing?
says AP is coming to Buffalo. You guys have LaShawn McCoy. Shut your mouth.
Yes.
You don't need it. I don't even think you would want him to be there, honestly.
Well,
Would you want Adrian Peterson if you have LaShawn McCoy as well? I feel like you have to get rid of LaShawn McCoy.
sounds like such an exciting. That would be such a Buffalo thing to do, though, or like Jamal Charles. They'd be like, yes, we finally got Jamal Charles. Everyone in the locker room is just like, son of a God.
He doesn't
But
even have two
everyone
ACLs to stand on, but boy, we got Jamal Charles.
Everyone in Buffalo is going crazy, cracking open the closest beer they can find. Meanwhile, the mayor of the city is giving T.O. the key to the city.
They just never let that go.
We gave the key to the city
to Terrell Owens.
to Terrell Owens. Can we get that back?
No,
That was a mistake.
Non-refundable.
That was a mistake.
Yeah. My dad wants you to know that he never has and never will fill out a bracket. Fun fact. Do with that as you will.
Unbelievable.
I know. Trevor believes that AP will sign with the Raiders.
It's probably a smart move.
I'll take that bet, Trevor.
It's probably a smart move.
Raiders versus the field. I'll take the field. Bet AP signs with somebody else.
It's about time the Raiders.
Your brother owes me lunch if that doesn't happen.
Contingent upon T.O. giving the key back, yes. We do need the key back.
Sure, we'll go with that. So
Mayor Byron Brown's been locked out of his office
Peterson
for the
going,
last
then?
20 years. What?
Where is Adrian Peterson going? Should he go to the Giants?
He's going somewhere that's going to win them a Super Bowl. Oh, the Giants.
That was the first rumor way out in the beginning.
I will put
Do you go
the
with an
Giants.
up-and-comer?
I will put the Giants. I will put the Patriots.
The Patriots.
The Patriots and
Go Patriots.
And Oakland's an exciting option.
What about, as I'm looking here, what about Detroit? They're not too far off of being a playoff
He's not
contender.
going to Detroit.
No?
No.
What about Denver?
I could see him going to
Cincinnati.
Denver. I could see him going to Denver. But like, it's going to depend on who's playing quarterback in Denver.
That's true. What about
Cincinnati?
Cincinnati,
the team
yeah.
that can't win a playoff game?
Maybe Adrian Peterson is that mystical thing. What about the Jaguars? They've already built up everybody
Nobody
else.
goes to the Jaguars.
Except everybody in free agency.
Nobody.
Everybody has gone to the Jaguars in free agency.
Yeah,
I mean,
Cleveland.
you look at the rest of the league that has a shot generally at winning the playoff game. The Packers are one of the last few teams that really could go there.
I just want to know where the he is going. It's frustrating, but I'm over it. I love talking about it.
You're about as over it as you are with LeVar Ball trying to take on Charles Barkley.
Oh, come on. No,
I handed you that segue.
You did. I'm not going into it. Wait for what's for lunch.
We're going to wait till what's for lunch?
To talk LeVar Ball.
You should drink more because people are yelling at you again.
You guys are a horrible influence.
Hashtag Tanner's beer is getting warm.
It's very cold. I
Trending
assure you.
again.
It's still quite cold. It's quite cold. It's at a perfect 48 degrees Kelvin.
Sure. That's what it is.
Can we talk about real quick gambling in sports?
I like gambling. I mean, I don't appreciate gambling.
Okay.
Doc, go.
All right,
lend me your ear.
I teased it earlier. Over $10.4 billion is going to be bet on the NCAA March Madness tournament in the United States alone, which is a lot of cashish. A lot of cashish.
Care about the cashish.
Let's talk about the overall gambling in sports in general.
Okay. It happens on a consistent basis.
This number is
What's your next point?
This number is just on the NFL and college football this year. This will not so
2016
far.
2016 or
this year, the 2017 year.
Okay, so this coming season. Okay.
$95 billion
is what will be gambled on
college football and professional football.
Now,
$95
when you say gambled, what does this mean though? Is this like the daily fantasy? Is just like
daily fantasy?
$20 says the Raiders win.
Anything. Prop bets, anything.
Really?
People betting on teams to win, cover the spread. $95 billion. And 93 of that billion will be wagered illegally.
Tanner can't afford a craft beer.
Here's my point, though. This is
here.
just football, and we know that March Madness in March, $10.4 billion is going to be bet. So, like, it gets up to the hundreds of billions of dollars that are being gambled illegally. Wouldn't the United States be smart?
It's not like it's all at once, though.
No.
This is over the course of
$400 billion in a year? Would they not be smart to be like, okay, like let's just make this legal and tax the hell out of it? I'm just saying.
So that's your solution for it, is what you're
I
telling
mean,
me.
I don't want that to happen. I like just handing my dad $30 or whatever it is. You know what I mean? So it's not a problem, and I don't think you can really.
So you're admitting to gambling
when it comes
illegally?
to March Madness, it's pretty much impossible for them to be like, "Hey, give us let me tax you on that." You know, it's
Right.
not going to happen.
But you're.
But it's amazing to me because it's such a high number.
So
I mean, we're betting billions of dollars on people who aren't making any money.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're a proponent for that, at least a little bit. We talked about it the other day. Why are you laughing at me? I'm serious. This is a good topic.
No, I'm not saying
This is
it
a good.
isn't.
Somebody comment. Somebody give me something to talk about. Baxter's leaving me out to dry over there. I'm just gonna read the comments really quick. There's gotta be something. Hashtag no wonder why Tanner picked MU for the Final Four. I'm out.
You see what you guys did? You see what you brought upon. Bring me a beer if you come back. Oh, just kidding. He's back already. James says, FYI, 48 Kelvin is negative 375.25 Fahrenheit.
I gotta drink my beer.
That's cold. That's real cold. I don't know. Trevor says...
It is cold. You're right.
Trevor says, Ted Thompson would never pay for a 30-shield running back who doesn't contribute on third down. And awesome as awesome it would be.
That. He's not going to Green Bay.
Everybody and their mother wants to know what kind of a beer you're drinking.
I can't tell you.
Yes, you can.
I don't want to. It's okay. It's an okay beer. It's a Blue Moon.
It's a Blue Moon. It's no Orange Slicer, whatever it is. I don't think I've ever had a Blue Moon.
What?
I don't think so. That's why I said to give me a beer while you were over there.
It's basically the same thing as a Spotted Cow.
Oh, well, Spotted Cow is great. I enjoy Spotted Cow.
So you'd like Blue Moon?
Well, then why don't I have one? Well,
There's a
fine.
Fridge over there.
Well, fine. Then Utah.
Okay, so sports. Yeah, what is a sport? That's no. Oh yeah, my dad says my pool costs 30 credits or Bitcoin or Monopoly money. Just because I don't gamble legally doesn't mean I should go to jail or pay taxes.
Are you done?
I'm done. Baxter's back with a beer.
Hi, everybody.
This is his first Blue Moon.
Yeah.
Are you done?
I can get on board with that.
Okay, here we go.
All right. Cheers, everybody.
All right, what's for lunch? What is for lunch?
Are we finally to this point of the show?
We are finally to this point of the
Dear
show.
God, thank
This
you.
is my favorite segment. So, folks, I will give you 5 seconds to share it and tell people that the best segment in the history of Bruce Sports is about to happen. It's called Tanner's Making Lunch. What's for lunch?
What's for lunch, big boy?
Share, get the people in here. I want to hear people's reactions to, or I guess not hear, but read people's reactions to my.
Say what you need to say.
To my what's for lunch. So
what is it? What is for lunch? Stop making me wait, Tanner. I've already shared this episode
it's not
minutes ago.
Tuesday, but in Milwaukee here, taco specials also come out on Thursdays.
They do. You're right about that. I completely agree with you.
It's Taco Thursday today.
It's
Taco Thursday.
today.
We're having tacos for lunch today. Let me start with, you could do chicken, you could do beef. I'm going beef.
I like fish tacos, personally.
I'm going beef. I love fish tacos. I got a place, so I'll talk to you about. We should go get some fish tacos. I'm going beef because there's somebody out there who's got a lot of it.
Okay.
And I told you he was going to come up.
He always does.
LeVar Ball is going to be my beef in my taco today because of his beef with Shaq, Charles, and Michael. Mm-hmm. Three of the greats. You know what's great, though? You need some cheese on that taco.
You always need cheese.
A taco isn't complete without some cheese. So I'm bringing Eddie Lacy for one last time, only because he ate all of the cheese on his way out from Green Bay. That's why he's 267 pounds.
But Pete Carroll's cool with that, though.
Pete Carroll's cool with that, I guess. I'm telling you, he's basically a fullback.
He likes hefty players.
He's basically a fullback. He should have been a fullback. Speaking of running backs in Seattle, you got to have some lettuce on that taco.
True.
And he already retired, but
still counts.
He gets the good stuff.
Still relevant.
Marshawn Lynch is my lettuce today.
Marshawn Lynch is the lettuce today. I feel like everything that we have on the show has to have lettuce on it.
You got to have some onions on there.
Do you, though?
I'm a big onion guy.
Not in my
I'm a big
tacos.
onion guy.
Maybe.
You think they stink?
Well, they make me cry.
Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow's my onion today. Stinky Tim Tebow.
He doesn't stink, though. He's a good player. He smells good.
His batting average is a 214.
214. That's better than most major
with his
leaguers.
double hit, with his two hit.
That's
with
better
his
than
two
most
hit
major
game
leaguers. A good batting average in MLB
better
is
than me.
300.
I'm not in the minors.
So
I'm
I feel
just
like
saying.
if I batted 214, I wouldn't be terribly mad about that personally.
I'm just saying.
I'd be like, all right, I'm decent.
I could have chose the Buffalo Bills as my onion.
They always stink. So
Anyways.
that's too easy.
Sour cream. Love sour cream. Mm-hmm. Love sour cream.
Who's sour?
LeVar Ball.
LeVar Ball. He can't be in this twice.
Oh, well, he thinks he can.
Oh, I'll be twice, anywhere and everywhere, even if it's in a taco. I'm LeVar Ball. I'm the greatest. My son's the greatest. This is what we do. This is what I do. I'm a one-and-done taco. I'm a one-and-done taco, okay? LeVar Ball. I'm the greatest of all time.
2.2 points per game. Washington State.
As a walk-on.
78-78 or 78-77. I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet.
Yeah, no, it's great. I got plenty more room for you.
I have
Keep
LeVar
piling
Ball.
it on.
I have LeVar Ball as my beef with Shaq, Charles, and Michael. I have Eddie Lacy as my cheese. Since he ate the rest of it, he spared a little bit for me
What a
on his
guy.
way to Seattle. Marshawn Lynch, speaking of Seattle, is my lettuce. LeVar Ball is also my sour cream because I love sour cream. And Tim Tebow is my stinky onion because I love onions, but gosh darn it, they stink and they make me cry.
Wow.
Maybe I should have picked the Bills today.
You should have. You really should have. Tim Tebow doesn't make you cry. The Bills make you cry. It should have been Buffalo
But
sports as a whole makes you cry.
Being from Buffalo,
yes.
freaking love hot sauce. Freaking love it.
Not a hot sauce fan, personally.
Jesse James. Jesse James Decker is my hot sauce today 'cause she is smoking hot.
There you go. Had to throw that little.
She's like my
little,
height.
Little nugget.
She's smoking hot.
And she's married.
And she's never going to date me.
And she's married. And I'm pretty sure she's got at least a kid or two in
But
there.
we gotta put all this stuff on something.
I thought we did.
So I don't know if you're a hard shell guy or a soft shell guy.
Well,
So
I mean,
I'm a soft shell guy. I've always been a soft shell guy because you can like fold it up and turn it into like a mini burrito.
sure. A cheesy gordita crunch.
So my soft shell tortilla, Lonzo Ball.
Speak up! Your dad is embarrassing you, and your teammates probably hate you. Say something, or tell your dad to shut up.
Lonzo Ball.
Okay.
My soft shell tortilla.
Yummy.
Wait a minute though.
Oh, my God.
I can't cook tacos.
You can't.
I can't cook tacos.
Jamie can cook tacos.
I got to have somebody cook tacos for me.
Okay.
Le'Veon Bell.
Okay. Because his
Tebow.
last name is Bell. It's the biggest cop-out ever. Oh, my gosh.
It's the biggest cop out ever. It's great. You're gonna love it. It's a wonderful restaurant on the east side called Taco Bell. Phenomenal.
Great
They have-
people.
they have
They
the-
love me over
They
there.
love me over there. They're my favorite Mexicans.
Can neither confirm nor deny that. Oh, my gosh.
LeVar Ball, I want to hang out with you. Let's be best friends.
LeVar Ball is going to be named like Secretary of Swag or something. Big baller brand.
This shirt was $10. Way cooler than Baller Brand for 60.
Oh, 60 or
Way
whatever.
cooler. Team
Corey
Berg.
wants to know if you've got a salsa.
Ooh.
And Chris wants you to finish your beer before the end of the show.
Do I have a salsa? I should have, but I usually. So here's the
Your
deal.
salsa could be Shakira.
Here's the deal. I wanted to put avocado on there.
Okay.
It's not in season.
It's always in season.
Shut up.
I got avocado like 3 days ago.
I want
Go
to
to
put
the grocery
avocado
store.
on there. I don't have $2 for an avocado. I don't know.
It's worth it.
I like salsa,
Okay.
but I already have my hot sauce on there. This is a taco. It's not a burrito. You know what I mean? So like,
So?
you can only fit so much in there. And I like extra meat.
true.
LeVar Ball. LeVar Ball is my beef.
Okay. Trevor says this is the best segment ever.
I'm hungry.
I'm starving. I feel like it's about time
Wanna
to
go
go
get some
eat.
fish tacos?
Chris says feast mode.
Feast.
Kurt says Lacey only eats China food. That's
my
very
God.
true. I enjoy good China food, but I'm like, I'm gonna get yelled at though because I'm more of a Panda Express guy. I'm not like I don't have like a local like Asian joint, so I know that my friends, Aaron, that hate big business, Aaron, are gonna yell at me for supporting a national chain, Aaron. All right, I'm done with that. Anyway. That was my little bit. You know, it's irrelevant to this conversation. What are you doing? No,
Nothing. I wasn't
you
doing
drank
anything.
your beer, so now you're gonna drink my beer.
I wasn't doing anything.
You're done. I think you need to go eat because you're probably gonna like pass out here shortly.
Okay, can I take the microphone?
No, you can't take the
Okay.
microphone.
All right.
You cannot take your microphone.
Goodbye. So long. I'll see you in the morning. All right, I'm
Bye,
back.
Tanner.
I'm back.
Hope you find your dad.
Hope you find your dad.
All right, Tanner Burke, if that's your name still up at this point of the show. Can you
I come back tomorrow?
Can you close us out? Can you get us to Friday? Can you just shut us down for the rest of the day?
If you missed your brackets, I'm sorry. Due to the CBS shutting down, it is what it is. Yes, be sure to like, follow, share, all that fun stuff. We're on all forms of social media. I don't know.
That's really about it. BrewSportsNet.com, Brew Sports on YouTube. Find us on iTunes as well if you missed any of our shows.
It's actually a great thing. I used it the other day. It was great. I was driving. I was like, I don't want to download an hour's worth of video and like get yelled at for going over my data by Verizon or whatever. So yes, feel free to download podcasts. You can save them on your phone.
Yes,
via iTunes.
Listen to them. Download, subscribe everywhere. Tell your friends. Get the notifications too, because when we go live and you don't tune in right away, that makes us sad. We want you here immediately.
We want all of you in here commenting. Otherwise, I'm stuck here actually being forced to talk about sports, which I know nothing about.
Just LeVar Ball. That's all you know
LeVar
about.
Ball.
Uh-oh, my beer's rising.
I love What's for Lunch. It's my favorite segment.
I know it is, and so is Trevor's.
Yes.
All right, gang, we'll be back here again tomorrow on Halftime, 11 a.m. Central Time, live right here on Brew Sports. He is Tanner Burke. I'm Baxter Colburn. We'll see you guys again tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching.
Go San Diego State University.
Enjoy the rest of your day. Hope your bracket gets busted. See ya!
I need a drink.